worse than I thought it was.
Oh, yeah.
My situation's complicated, so she has
Okay.
liberating.
Yay, Dr. Deb!
Okay, wait, you move. There we are.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you see the red dot? Don't. Okay.
Yeah, that face is on.
Now you're permanent.
No, I'm immortalized with that expression.
Like my mother used to say, a cold wind's going to come and freeze it.
Mine said that too.
Was your mom from Texas?
Tennessee. We're just going to come and freeze it. I was just told
Okay,
to keep doing
so my name, as you know, my name is Dr. Deb Sampair. The only person who doesn't know me is not in the room right now, but
He said something really nice.
and just a little bit about me. I'm from Iowa. I'm from the Midwest.
Yay.
Iowa! And we are not Ohio, and we are not Idaho,
Nope,
or Indiana even.
we're Iowa.
We are Iowa. And I, after college, I moved to Denver. And then after I got my bachelor's degree, then I moved to Denver. I lived there for 13 years and I taught. And then I taught adults how to take care of kids. And then after that, I decided to become a chiropractor. And so I moved out to California and found a chiropractic school. Well, actually, first I found the school, then I moved to California.
Oh, you did the California one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, I was only an hour from the one in Iowa.
Hundreds of miles away to be.
Yes. Yes. So I moved to California, became a chiropractor, and now I'm a chiropractor. That's why I'm still here. And then I met and married Jim, my husband, who's in King right now, the baby. And I met him when I got here, and he's from here. So he loved it here and wanted to stay here. And I'm like, really? You want me to stay here? So I'm still here. So, yes. Yes, so I'm a chiropractor. I'm also certified in applied clinical nutrition today, but our focus of our talk today is on applied clinical nutrition. So I provide chiropractic care to people who are in pain, or if they feel fine, they just want to keep their flexibility and their strength as they age. I also provide personalized nutritional programs for people who have illnesses or symptoms that are reducing their enjoyment of their life. So my programs energize and improve both people's health and their vitality. Today I'm going to talk about, first thing I'm going to talk about is how to increase your energy and your feelings of vitality in your body. So first thing you can do is you can be consistent with your daily sleeping habits. Your body needs to get into a habit, and that's the way that you'll get the best sleep. You want to make sure the room is very dark. Unnecessary electronics are not in the room. And it's recommended that you stop using all electronic devices, like computers, well, any electronic devices that has a light on it, at least an hour before you go to bed, because the light from that screen stimulates your brain, and it throws off your circadian rhythms, it throws off your sleep cycles, because it's stimulating you with that light. And you don't want to be stimulated if you're trying to go to sleep. The second thing you could do is start doing some physical activity. But it's very important that you like it. Now, I know some people are like, oh no, I have to start working out, I better go to the gym and do this and this and this. But they hate going to the gym, and they hate doing this and this. So don't do that. You know, you want to have an enjoyable life. Don't say, I'm going to go and lift weights if you hate lifting weights. Because you won't do it anyway. Or you'll do it maybe 5 times if you're lucky, and then you'll be like, okay, just can't do it.
You do it once and it hurts.
Yeah.
Hell.
So you want to find something that you can have be enjoyable. For example, I do Zumba, and I love Zumba because I forget that I'm exercising because the music's very loud,
What's the
and
song?
I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing.
What's the song? Da 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 da.
Wiggle, wiggle,
Wiggle.
wiggle, just a little bit.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Just a little bit.
Wiggle, 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 just a little bit.
That's one of the songs that I can't get. Once you get that in your head, you can't get it out. So I'm walking around here all day.
Wiggle, wiggle.
So Zumba's not high energy?
It's high energy, but it doesn't have to be high
Impact.
impact. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
You can do it low impact too.
Okay.
Yeah, and mostly people are doing kind of all different things in the room. The instructor's doing it accurately, but everybody else is kind of just doing the best they can.
Is there a better time of day before sleep?
For what? For exercising?
Exercising, yes.
Whatever time works for you.
It doesn't matter exercise 2 minutes.
Everybody's a little bit different. Some people
Okay.
love it in the morning, some can exercise and then go to sleep, some can't. So everybody's a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Salsa dancing. I can salsa dancing.
Salsa dancing, yes. That would be fun.
That's exciting.
There is some salsa dancing in Zumba. There is some salsa in Zumba too. There's
I
one
saw your
song.
hips going wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Just go
Yeah, there's one song called I Love Salsa, and it's all salsa. So the third thing you can do is to increase your energy and your vitality in your life is to get adjusted by a chiropractor on a regular basis. That'll help you increase your flexibility or keep your flexibility, increase your muscle strength, keep your range of motion for the rest of your life. What the adjustments do is they help keep your nervous system healthy. Your nervous system is like the information center of your body. Your nerves send all the information out to every part of your body, make sure they're doing their job, make sure they're doing a good job, make sure everything is working well. So you want to make sure that's actually in optimal condition so that your body works as well as it can, for as long as it can. So the fourth thing you want to do is you want to change your diet to increase vegetables. Those are those usually green leafy things, right? Right? And not always. And you want to decrease the sugar that you're eating. Sugar includes starches and like potatoes, things like that, and grains. All right? You want to decrease the sugars in your diet, which are starches and grains. And sugar, right? Okay? So, as you know, the snacks back there have no white sugar. They are sweetened, so that's a different topic. You know, having it be sweetened with something versus having it have white sugar in it. White sugar, I'll talk a little bit about it, but it's been shown to be significantly worse than we thought. But the snacks are back there. Obviously, since they are really sweetened, I don't recommend you eat 20 of them, right? They're a snack. Okay. All right. So, all right. One thing that's very obvious to people, but we forget, is that the only thing that our body has to keep us alive and kicking is what we put in it and what we put on it. So what we put on our body will be absorbed through the skin, right? What we put in it, obviously, is our food and drink, okay? But that's all our body has to keep us alive and kicking and healing and killing the bad guys and keeping us moving, smoothly through life. So that's what we want to focus on. All right. The fifth thing you can do to increase your vitality and your feelings of well-being is to do a yearly whole body detoxification or a cleanse program. Okay? Detoxing your body is vitally important because obviously it removes toxic substances from your body. And then your body doesn't have to use energy to house those substances. So when you ingest a toxic substance or you put something on your skin like cosmetics or lotions, things like that, those are notorious for having toxic chemicals in them, unfortunately. What happens is your body knows immediately that it's toxic. So it is not going to let it hang out in the blood system because it's dangerous. It's a toxic. It's a poison, right? So your body's going to want to store that toxin somewhere. Your body will store it either in a fat cell or by adding water to it to dilute it. So if it stores it in a fat cell, the fat cells are going to get bigger. If your body stores it in fluid, you're going to all of a sudden have more fluid. You're going to be swelling. You're going to have a swelling, or you might be more puffy. Your ankles may swell, all sorts of things. But your body has to either store it or dilute it because it's poisonous. If our body didn't do that, it would go in the bloodstream and boom, we'd be sick or die, right? So that's our protective mechanisms. So as you detox and that stuff comes out of your body, whatever was housing that, those storage sites, as I'd like to call them, also go away. Fat cells get smaller, the excess water is gone. It goes away. So, and as that happens, your energy goes up because you're not using all that energy to manage those toxic substances in your body. Okay? All right. So, what I want to focus on is two things today. What we should eat and what we should not eat. First one is what we shouldn't eat, and that is sugar. All right? Now sugar, okay, that's a huge topic. All right. So let's talk about sugar. Sugar is a very tough issue for me. I've been a sugaraholic for many years. This is not AA though. This is not, or SA. This is not SA. I tried for years and years to give it up, okay? And I never could do it, and I just kept gaining weight. So I did finally find a program that worked for me, and I got a lot more energy, I got more clarity, my cravings for sugar are down to virtually nothing, all right? That's a 10-day sugar cleanse that I'll talk about in a minute. But first I want to talk to you about why sugar, what's the big deal about sugar, and why are we so worried about it? So here are some of the things that the sugar does to your body. Everything it does to your body is bad. There is nothing that it does that's good, right? We do not need white sugar in our diets, right? All right, so first thing it does, it reduces the number of white blood cells in our body for a whole hour after we eat sugar. Well, that's our immune system. That's kind of an important system to have work well. We want to make sure that we're fighting off the bad guys, we're killing those cancer cells, we want to make sure that, you know, our immune system is working well. Okay, frequent ingestion of sugar causes large-scale inflammation in our body. Like every organ in our muscles, our blood vessels, our intestinal tract. Okay, that's one of the reasons why when you eat sugar it can cause gas, bloating, joint pain, moodiness, to name just a few. I mean, I can read a whole list of things. All right, it's been linked to chronic diseases like obesity. Well, that's a duh, right? It's a no-brainer. To type 2 diabetes, that's another no-brainer. It's been linked to heart disease, atherosclerosis, cancer, Alzheimer's. Sugar actually feeds cancer cells. So when you eat sugar, whatever cancer cells are circulating in your body, you're feeding them. I would rather kill them and get them out. All right, so here's the problem though. There are added sugars in 74% of processed foods under over 60 different names. You'll see on one of your sheets. Here's a list of 71 different names of sugar that they put in food. So it makes it really hard to not only read labels, but understand the labels and then stay away from them. Basically, the easiest way to reduce your sugar intake or eliminate it is to eat whole foods that are not processed. That's the easiest way. Now, so the biggest bad news about sugar is that it's addictive. If you crave sugar, if you want sugar, if you think about sugar, if you want it, it is not. You're not an anomaly. You know, you're normal. Sugar is an addictive substance. When they did brain scans and they gave the participants sugar, or even just put it on their tongue, it lit up the same areas of the brain as cocaine.
Wow.
Right. But if you're trying to get off cocaine, it's not hidden in all your foods, is it? Right? But when you try to get off sugar, it's very difficult. I'm very compassionate with people about that because it's a tough thing to give up sugar. It's a tough thing to even cut back because it's very addictive. All right, there's good news about sugar. The good news is that there are other sweeteners that you can use that are safe instead of sugar. That's the only good news about sugar that I can find. So some of the things we use back there: fruit, maple syrup, honey, coconut sugar, stevia. There are other things on the market that at this point research shows are safe, like xylitol or erythritol. I really recommend that you use foods, real foods to sweeten, rather than some chemicals made in a lab. Okay? Now, there are sweeteners on the market that are artificial and they're just plain dangerous. That it's never recommended that you eat them. And what those are, you know, Splenda or sucralose, same thing. Aspartame, which is also called NutraSweet. Those are just plain, they're made in a lab. NutraSweet was actually developed by the military as a chemical warfare agent to start with. And Donald Rumsfeld, helped push this through when he was in the military. He was also on the board of the drug company that made this, right? It's a big story.
Conflict of interest.
No. In the FDA.
No, it wouldn't happen.
Okay, so they are totally toxic. They're made in a lab. They're nothing to do with the real food. And we'll see later that, I'll do some muscle testing and you'll see, they are worse than sugar for you. They are worse. They cause neurological problems, they kill brain cells, I mean, we could go on and on and on. And the most ironic part about these is that people use them to lose weight. And what they found is that not only do you not lose weight when you use these, but you actually gain weight. And they're toxic to the body, so they cause inflammation. So they're going to cause weight gain even that way. All right, I may go over a few minutes here. All right, next topic, vegetables. For most people, vegetables are in the topic of boring but important, right? But one of the things you find, there are many tips on how to eat more vegetables. One of them is smoothies. We can talk about that later if you want. If you start cutting back on your sugar, vegetables actually taste better. I was shocked.
They do.
When I went off sugar, I actually like broccoli again. I haven't liked it since I was a child. It was a big joke in my family. Now I like broccoli. I'm still working on cauliflower, but I like broccoli. So basically, and you will actually crave vegetables, which you'll be shocked. So vegetables are like the food rock stars. They do everything in our body. And I'll just be really speedy here a list. They boost your energy, they speed healing, they repair all tissues, increase the communication between all of your cells, that's kind of important, fight all diseases, neutralize free radicals that lead to cancer, reduce inflammation in your body, and as you know, all major diseases now are linked to increased inflammation. Okay? They nourish your joints, they feed your detoxing organs, like your kidneys and your liver, they prevent macular degeneration, they support your digestive tract, that's just a few. Right? So they're like the super rock stars of our food group. So, those are the topics I wanted to cover real quickly, but I want to tell you about the program that I do called Nutrition Response Testing. There are two options with Nutrition Response Testing. Sorry, I didn't realize I was talking so long. I'll speed this up a little bit.
Oh, you're fine.
Am I? Okay. We started about 10 after. Oh, okay. So, the first option is I make a customized, personalized nutrition program for you based on muscle testing, what organs are stressed in your bodies, what's causing the stress, and what nutrients your body needs to get back to where you yourself heal that organ. Because our bodies are brilliantly designed. We are super healers. So if we're not healing, something is going on. Something is blocking that. Okay? The second option is to do a detox program. I have 4 of them. 3 of them are 10-day detoxes, and 1 of them is a 21-day detox. I did the 10-day sugar detox, and I couldn't believe it, but in the first 7 days, I lost 10 pounds. I'm not one of those people that just loses 10 pounds. I'm like a regular person like everybody else. I don't just drop weight for no reason. You know, I've been trying to get off this sugar, and I've been trying to lose weight for decades. I lost 10 pounds in a week, and I didn't do anything except follow this cleanse. Okay? The other 2 10-day cleanses, one is for inflammation, and one is for female vitality. Like maybe you'd like a sex drive back that's missing for a little while. Or maybe you just don't want hot flashes if you're going through menopause. Or maybe you just want to rev that area up a little bit. I'm all for that. Okay, on my programs, I've had people, and my cravings went down. My sugar cravings went down, which was huge for me because they were driving me crazy. I've had other patients that have lowered their blood pressure. They've lowered their blood sugar levels. One patient lowered her cholesterol levels 15 points, and her doctor quit bugging her to go on Lipitor. Okay, I have another person who eliminated her anxiety. Another patient, her depression. Another patient lost weight and reduced her headaches. How often were your headaches to start with?
Probably 3 migraines a month.
3 migraines a month, and now you're having a migraine, what, every 5 months?
Yeah,
4
probably
months.
1 every 4 months.
4 months, yeah.
better.
And we're working still to get them to be gone, right?
That's great.
So, yeah, so initially, okay, so I just want to tell you really quickly, I was a sugaraholic, I told you, and it was making me feel so much older and fatter and grumpier than I wanted to be, okay? But with this nutrition program, whichever option works for you, it really has made a huge difference for me, which is why I love it, because I see results so easily and so quickly with people. Now, I've given you a few sheets of paper. First one is, like I said, the 71 names of sugar. The other side is sugar addiction, the cycle. You can look at that later. What I want you to do is, the third sheet that has the 3 columns, at the bottom there are some boxes. And when you fill out these boxes and check off your symptoms, it tells you which cleanse is right for you, if you want to check that out. Now, if you check off a lot of boxes in all three, guess which cleanse you should do? The 21-day cleanse.
Yes, he's gonna be doing
Yeah. Because the 21-day cleanse, it just eliminates so many things. Because when you get those toxins out, they don't cause problems. Because they're gone. They're no longer your problem. All right. Okay, so I want to do a little demonstration of how I test people in my office. You want to come up, Ann?
Sure.
Okay. So I do some basic muscle testing. And I'm just going to show you this really quick because it's kind of fun. It's very easy. I've got an organic apple and I've got some Splenda, which I don't even like to touch.
Me neither.
Yeah. So what I do is I do muscle testing, which is not testing the strength of someone's muscle. It actually tests their nervous system to see if their nervous system is healthy enough to be able to resist me pushing and is able to lock that muscle despite me pushing a little bit. I'm not going to arm wrestle her or try to flip her. Okay?
Oh, no.
Okay. So I'm going to give her this bowl, and I'm going to have her close her eyes, and we're going to muscle test. And this is just basic, to see which her body likes. If her body likes it, it should be a strong test, right? Okay, so close your eyes, and I'm going to have you put your right arm up like I'm going to test you. Good. Okay, so now I'm going to have you hold the bowl. All right? And she doesn't know what's in it. Okay, ready? Resist. Feel how strong that is? That's a nice strong test. Okay, now I'm going to put something else in it, and I want you to see what that is. Ready? Resist. Okay,
You want
again.
to try that again?
Yeah, ready? Resist.
There's no resistance.
No.
Do it.
And I'm pushing lighter.
Resistance is futile.
Resistance is futile.
Right. Okay, now let's put something else in and try something else. Okay, put your arm up again. Ready? Resist. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so now let's try this again. I'll put something different in there. Ready? Resist. There we go. So, thank you.
Yay!
Thank you. That's the basic, that's very basic, the muscle testing that I do. It tests the reflexes in your body, and your body knows innately when something is good for it or when it's not. And that's what I do, and I test your organs, and I test other areas if they're bothering you, and see what you need with that. So
Yeah, would you do another one with her just, because to me?
I can do it in a minute after we get done.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to
Using
just,
Ann.
I'm going a little over, so I want to just say thank you, and do you have any questions?
I just have one. At night, like reading, like if you have to have a light on to read
Mhm.
before bed. Does that light stimulate also the
Well,
same?
they found that what really stimulates people is the light shining directly into your eyes from like tablets, iPads,
Yeah, yeah.
computers, and like that. So
If
reading
it's
with a light,
overhead or
that's not nearly the same, no,
Okay,
because
it's
it's
not
not
the
nearly
same.
as intense.
but better if it was coming from behind.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just using for an example. If there's food on the table, there's green veggies and cookies and chips and maybe bread, he will always go for the green. Is that because that's what I only feed him, or is that because he doesn't have interest in anything else? Do you know if that?
I think it's probably because of the habits you set up with him, and he's developing his taste buds right now. So he's developing a taste for the good stuff, which is great.
Yeah, but it's funny because even on a plate, like people's plates, like he'll look and he'll just reach for the vegetables. Like, good. But I wanted to try other, like eat some chips or some bread. But he has no.
Well, the
I mean,
chips
he
don't have
automatically
anything
reaches
that's,
for that.
well, the chips don't have anything nutritious in them for him, and probably the bread
So
doesn't
then
either.
he'll never have an addiction to bad food, I guess.
Well, he most likely, like the rest of the human race, will love sugar. Once he eats it, very few people say, "Oh, I don't like things that are sweet."
Oh, okay. So as long as I don't
Usually-
give it to him now, then it's not
That's
gonna.
perfect, because his taste buds will develop a taste for things that aren't that sweet. They found that with babies, if you start them off eating things that are not sugar, you don't want to give them sodas, you don't want to feed them,
Right.
stuff
I
that's in a
thought I was
box.
feeding him though, because I'm giving him what I want.
No.
Okay,
No, I
thank
have
you.
a friend who has triplets, and they're now in their teens, but they never ever had refined sugar until they hit 6 years old and went to school.
Wow,
Never.
that's
Not at all.
Thank you.
And now they still don't want it.
Good.
Yeah, they still don't want it.
That was a point of contention with my ex-husband and myself, because when I got divorced when my son was a year old. And my attitude was, not feeding sugars, not feeding, I wanted only healthy foods. And we really started off that way. I even ground his baby food out of fresh
That's what I
food.
do.
And when he'd go to visit his dad would call me up and say, you need to give him more sugar.
What?
And I'd say, why? He goes, because every time I feed him sugar, he bounces off the walls. I said, that's why I don't give him sugar. And he just refused to allow, so he junk fed him to the point where my son got so addicted to the junk food, I couldn't get him to eat the healthy stuff anymore.
It's even the same with water with him. He'll go for water, he'll go like for juice or milk. He'll
Good.
want that water.
Good, yeah, the juice really is just a lot of sugar.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
I have one, Paul Bragg in his books talks about like a 1 day fast, like every day for, the whole year. What do you have to say about a 1 day like detox fast? Which is
Just once a
normal-
year?
No, like every Monday
Oh.
for 52 weeks. It's
There's
once
a lot.
once a week you're
Yeah.
doing, what do you have to say about
There's a
that?
lot to say about that.
Briefly,
Briefly, let's
to
see.
motivate us.
Are you asking, is it healthy? Are you
Oh, I
asking,
know
is it
it's healthy.
helpful?
I know it's
or-
healthy, I just wanted to know what she had to say about it, other than it's healthy.
Well, 1 day is probably not going to be enough to get a lot of stuff detoxed out of your body. One of the things that the programs have are they have supplements that go with it. And the supplements have, of course, lots and lots of vegetables in it that feed the detox organs to get those toxic substances out. But like, let's say your liver is also really already overwhelmed because you've eaten lots and lots of junk food, right? So your liver is clogged and it's having a hard time detoxing. So fasting 1 day would be great, right? But it's not going to nutritionally support the liver to be able to detox as well as it could. Yeah,
With a program, yeah.
yeah.
So there's this book called Grain Brain where this doctor talks about 50%, approximately 50% of the Alzheimer's case in this country are 100% preventable.
Yeah.
Because they're from inflammation.
Yep.
So can you really briefly just mention a few conditions that inflammation causes that probably people don't realize? Because I hadn't realized the Alzheimer's connection.
Actually, inflammation causes they're finding that inflammation causes all of the major diseases. So it's causing the atherosclerosis, right? The plaque in the arteries. It's causing the heart attacks. It's causing the strokes. It's causing the autoimmune disorders, like rheumatoid arthritis, all of the nasty stuff that none of us wants.
Cancer?
Cancer, definitely. 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 But the good news is if you reduce the inflammation, you really can reverse your health condition. Now, everybody's different, right? And some experts argue that once you have an autoimmune disorder, you can't undo that. Depends on what your definition is of heal from that and undo it, right? Once you have the antibodies in your bloodstream. Anyway, that's a big answer, but you can reverse it is the good news. If you reduce the wheat, for sure. Yeah.
Can you talk about some hidden sources of sugar, certain things that most people don't expect to have sugar in them?
Yes. Well, basically you need to be reading the labels on anything that has a label. So anything that's not in the periphery of the store. Actually, those have labels too. You want to read those labels. But things that are crazy that have sugar in them, which make me crazy when I first started reading labels, were kidney beans, canned beans, peanut butter, all different kinds of nut butters. Bread most universally has sugar in it.
Even things like almond milk, they put sweeteners in and
Yeah.
things like that. Like, you
Pasta
think you're getting
sauce.
something healthy and you're getting and it has sweeteners in it. You're like, I
Yeah.
want some with sugar in it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard because it's in so many things that you would never think it would be in.
Bacon.
Bacon. You can get sugar-free bacon, though. They do have that at Whole Foods.
Oh, they do.
They do.
Cheese, yeah.
Cheese, I haven't seen it in cheese, actually. But it may be in there. I'd have to look again.
Not too much, no.
Depends on what, if, like a cheese spread or something
Yeah,
like
if
that.
it's a cheese spread, so it's not like real cheese, then it probably has some kind of sweetener in it.
And what about, you mentioned whole grains, and I thought we were told that we're supposed to be eating whole grains.
Yes,
Can
you are told
talk
that.
a little bit about that?
Yeah. Oh boy, there's a lot to talk about. What the research has shown is that we don't need as many grains as what we've been told. So the USDA is who tells us what to eat, right? But the problem with the USDA is that there are conflicting There are conflict of interests in there.
Yeah.
And the lobbyists for like the meat industry, the dairy industry, the grain and corn industry, and all these different industries, they have a lot of money and they lobby what to put in those directives for us. So it initially was supposed to be for our health, like what's best for us. But what's happening is it's way more political than that now. And what the research is showing is that some doctors recommend no grains at all. That's pretty much my diet. I don't have any grains in my diet. And some doctors recommend a lot less grain. So they say, I think 5 to 7 servings of grain a day, right? That's what the USDA says.
Yes.
Whoa. You do not need 5 to 7 servings a day unless you want to gain a lot of weight and you want to increase your inflammation.
Right.
Because the wheat now, of course, is all genetically modified in this country. So it is not good for us. It's toxic to start with, and then it's going to cause inflammation on top of that. So, one of the things that I thought was really unfair when I was doing I just finished my getting my certificate in applied clinical nutrition, and I've learned a lot about genetically modified foods and everything. One of the things that I thought was particularly unfair, which is kind of comical, like life is fair, right? But, once you gain weight, if you gain it here, it's particularly bad because these fat cells actually produce estrogen. Estrogen is inflammatory. So, let's say you gain weight here. You gain some fat cells or they get bigger, right? Well, those fat cells now start producing their own estrogen, which increases inflammation, which causes more stuff to be stored here, which causes increase in your fat cells even more. So it's like not only are you gaining weight, but these fat cells are secreting estrogen. It's like, how can that be fair? Anyway, that's just my little pet peeve there. But so that's one of the reasons. And the problem also is that when you have there's a lot of issues with nutrition, but I just thought that one was particularly kind of crazy because not only do you want to lose this weight so that you reduce inflammation, but as you get rid of these fat cells or shrink them, then you get rid of that estrogen that's also increasing inflammation. So it's kind of, at least you have a benefit there on the reverse side. It's not fair the other way, but at least you get a kind of a double bonus.
So let me plug your program a little.
Oh, thank you. Sure.
I'm on Doc Deb's nutritional program at the moment. We're working my way up to doing the 21-day cleanse because we started off just working on other symptoms and things that I have, which I had many. And I'm not going to say that I've gotten skinny or anything because I have lost a ton of weight, but I'm probably about 8 to 10 pounds since I started. But it's not the pounds, it's what people are coming up to me and saying, you look slimmer, you're looking slimmer. You look slimmer, you're looking smaller. And really what that is in all honesty, it's like, okay, I still have belly here, but down here, I don't feel nearly like I did before. And I'm starting to feel my curves come back. I can feel my ribs.
Good.
Things are happening for me because my body is not in an inflammatory state constantly. I'm doing so much less that's inflammatory.
Yeah.
Can I
the program works.
say something also? I've known you for a long time,
Yes,
and I
you
must say that you're a lot calmer, and you seem to be a lot more in control of your emotion.
When I'm having a bad day, a lot more in control.
It's like it's really helped you get it in touch, and that you just seem so much happier with yourself.
Good.
And I think it's the drugs.
Oh, it's definitely the program. It's a definite difference. I mean, and now it's like, okay, yes, I still get a craving every once in a while for something sweet. I was doing that yesterday, walked around the house. It's like, okay, I have peanut butter, it has no sugar in it. But peanut butter is nice, okay? So I just took peanut butter and I just had a little peanut butter with an apple or something. It's like, okay, that gave me took care of the sugar craving. It takes care of that need for that something to put in your mouth.
Yeah.
And you're not doing anything that's horribly unhealthy for you.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask, can you list some main symptoms of how it's called inflammation?
Well, here's a whole bunch of them right here. Right here.
Is there something like main?
Well, everybody will have a whole bunch of them, most likely. Like, for example, if I eat sugar, I know immediately because my joints start hurting.
Right, me too.
Me too.
So,
Why does it hurt?
And I get
Why
immediately
joints start
fatigued.
hurting?
my knees will start hurting. When I get out of bed, I'll be like, oh, my back's kind of hurting. And when I go down the steps, my knees will hurt. I'll just be more achy.
Or I get very fatigued. If I eat sugar, I'm immediately, oh my
Get
God.
tired,
I'm
wanna
just-
take a
I'm
nap.
wiped. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wiped.
What is the joint stiffness, like calf joints?
That, like if you go to move your joint, it's like, oh, it doesn't want to move like it used to. It's more stiff. It moves slower. Yeah.
I have a question. You said something about lotion on our skin.
Uh-huh.
I put baby lotion on King every day. Is that causing? It is, right? Why do you make the baby smell like baby lotion? There is, oh, you smell so good. What am I gonna do now?
There's natural non-toxic ones.
I'm really kind of kidding, but I mean, I put it on the baby. Today I did because he didn't feel good, but
Yeah.
I do.
Right. Well, I don't know how to make it smell like baby lotion without using baby lotion. That one I can't
I
answer.
guess it smell like baby.
You
not
could,
baby
if the skin is dry, you could use coconut oil.
Oh, okay.
Coconut
Thank you.
oil is very good for you. It's a great fat,
Oh, okay.
and you absorb it through your skin.
It's not a food, so it's okay.
It's a food too.
It's a food too.
Yes.
Coconut oil, look up coconut oil and its uses. You will find hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of
I'm gonna
things.
do that, yeah.
How
Thank
it's
you.
healthy for you. You can eat it, you can put it in your hair, you can use it on your skin. There's just so many
It's not
different
gonna
ways.
rot like food then, like.
No, it
It's not
actually-
like I'm putting food on you.
No, no, no. It'll
Okay.
soak in.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
it'll
you.
soak in.
I
And,
think
yeah.
it's antibacterial too.
It is
Yes, it
antibacterial,
is.
it's antiviral. Yeah.
In fact, fragrances are toxic.
Yes, they are.
Anything
Unfortunately.
that has a fragrance.
Unfortunately.
Well, in Australia, so last weekend I had to go to Las Vegas. My friend got married, so I was around smoke a lot, right? So I come to see Dr. Deb. What was the chemical I tested for again? I tested for heavy metals and some chemical. And when we looked it up, it was from nicotine. It was from the cigarette smoke. That I don't smoke, but just being around
Being
it
around
for
it.
3 days was
Yep.
enough.
Yeah.
And I got sick, by the way, from being in
Yeah.
that environment.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on soy?
I recommend you run away from soy. At least, I don't know about the rest of the world, of the planet. All I know is about the U.S. You know, if it's healthy to eat soy in Japan, I don't know. But here,
GMO.
it's mostly all genetically modified.
So I know a lot of vegetarians who are just constantly eating
Yes.
soy.
Yes, and
And
it
they're trying to be
messes.
healthy, but
It's not. And the problem is it especially messes with your hormones, and especially if it's a man. It'll really mess with his hormones. So it's not good for you.
What are the problem with the GMO food? How does it affect the health?
Well, wow, that's a hard question because they're still researching actually what it does to us. But basically, and of course there's a big controversy out there. Are GMOs good? Are they bad? Do they use more resources or do they use less? Are they killing people and making us more ill, or are they like the wonder food of the future? So there's a lot of controversy on there. Personally, I think that if you're going to genetically alter the structure of a food, you make it not that food anymore.
That's right.
And I recommend that we eat real foods. The ones that you take a seed, it gets planted in the ground, you pull it out, you eat it, or you cook it and eat it.
Well, plus, they don't know what all the vitamins are that are in an orange.
No, they don't.
You know, they know there's vitamin C, there's vitamin, they know, but there's
Hundreds.
fiber and there's all these
Hundreds
things
of
that you,
enzymes and
a pill
coenzymes,
will never,
unless it's a whole food supplement, right?
will never substitute eating, you know, that fruit or vegetable.
Right.
Because it's,
And once you taste real food, you never want to go back to processed, packaged again, ever. I mean, because the taste is so, I mean, my dad teases me all the time. You can't tell the difference between an organic apple and one that's just, you know, regularly grown. I said, oh, yes, I can, and give me a blind taste.
well, I am
test and I'll
jonesing
show
for
you.
a heirloom
Yeah.
tomato, I tell you, it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for a picture of it, but I don't have it, because I can't put things down. I totally agree with all of this, and I think it's fantastic that chiropractors are doing so much more look into nutrition, because doctors aren't.
That's
They
right.
Nobody else
get-
does
They
that.
get
That's
maybe
right.
40 hours of their whole 8-year career about nutrition,
That's
and
right.
that's it. You know, a nurse. I mean, the hospital cafeteria person probably knows more about nutrition that'll cure things than your doctor. And the doctor is prescribed to do, you know, medications and
surgery.
You don't get
Surgery,
kickbacks from grocery stores for getting your patients to buy healthy foods, but you get a kickback from the pharmacy if you write a
yes, they do.
prescription.
Yeah, yes, they do. And I'd like to throw out 3 names of other 3 chiropractors that I follow on YouTube. Dr. Berg from Virginia, Dr. Bergman from LA, and Dr. Group from Texas. And they're all pretty good guys to look at too.
Oh, good.
And they
I
have,
can't
they
eat.
say the same things, you know, the toxins, the GMOs, and Dr. Berg, Dr. Berg is awesome because he
Yes.
actually has diet.
If there's no more questions, then great. And if you want, you can fill out this little sheet, and we can talk about a cleanse, or we can just talk about the program, or if you have any questions.
The other question
Let me know.
is-
Thank you.